I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. Hello and welcome to another video in Iris Connection by Aileen. My name is Aileen, your Mexican bruja, and yes, you got it right. Today we're gonna be talking about Hocus Pocus 2, the new Disney movie that's right now in Disney Plus. I think it just came out like a week ago on September 30th, at least here in Mexico. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it and come back because maybe this could have spoilers. I don't know yet. I'm making this on to go. So as a Mexican bruja, I'm gonna tell you what are the things that they got right, what are the things that they got mixed up a little bit, and to tell you how to better use the magic that is already inside of you. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your subscribes, and let's dive right in. So first I'm gonna be talking about, yes, the magical book that there's always been there since the first movie, since Hocus Pocus 1. We already saw this book that Winifred calls book, and it magically comes to here. So I haven't experienced that yet. My book is still not coming to me when I call it, but I do have this magical book with all my spells, with all my knowledge, and it's actually called a grimoire. At the beginning, you can see the young Sanderson sisters just going into the woods, and how another powerful witch just gives them this grimoire of all of the spells that is containing. Maybe it has some more information about the things that they do. I really don't know. We're only seeing the spells, but this actually happens in real life too. Here I have my first Witchy book ever. If you are interested in looking it up, I'm gonna leave you the link right down. This is called The Modern Guide to Witchcraft. So this is not a grimoire by itself, but it does have a lot of magical spells later in the book. This one is actually, at the beginning, it explains a lot of witchcraft, what is it, the Wicca, the different kinds of magic, and at the end it does have a little bit of spells. I don't know if you can see it very much, but it does says when is the best day to do it, what is it for, and what to use. And on the other hand, I actually have my own grimoire. This is my book where I put all of my knowledge, where I put all of my spells, what worked, what didn't work. I took inspiration from that one and a lot of other books and a lot of my actual experience to be doing my own spells. And then here I write down how do they work, what do I do. Oh, this is too, yeah. They're like the spells, what worked, what didn't work, and then a lot of knowledge of the things that I want to know about astrology. So they got that right. Except for the flying part, I really would like my book to just come to me. Number 2, Salem and the Witches. In the movie Hocus Pocus, they are portraying actually a lot of truth, but a lot of not truth at the same time, because in Salem, what happened was that a lot of people, more than 200 people, most of them women, were falsely convicted because of being witches. In the movie, they were actually witches and they were actually doing something wrong. They were eating the children, and actually Becca just says it like, you were eating children, so. And that's the part that's kind of wrong, kind of right, because the problem with Salem was that a lot of people were innocent and a lot of people were killed there. The Sanderson sisters were actually witches doing something evil. And this is why they have this fight with the Reverend, and later in the movie with their bloodline, because they were killed because of that, because of doing witchcraft, but they were actually doing something wrong. So that's that. The third one is something that I really love that the movie just talked about, and it's the Coven and the power of doing magic with company, with kindred spirits. There's this part where Becca is just using her magic powers just after discovering that she actually has magic powers, and you can see that she's a little too weak. And then Izzy comes and she's like, hey, give me your hand, because here in the book it says that the power comes from others. And you can see that they hold hands and the magic immediately gets stronger. This is something that is completely correct, that is completely true, and it's actually, I want to tell you about the Coven. That is a new membership that I am doing. just because of that, because together we are stronger. So I'm gonna be leaving the links right down if you're interested, but it is about that, about doing magic together, about doing full moon and new moon spells together. I'll leave you the information right down. The fourth is the sacred place. It's actually funny because Sarah says it's so funny, like they're trying to do this Maxima power spell, and Winifred is listing all the ingredients, and then she's like, oh yeah, and we need to do this in a sacred place, and Sarah is like, oh, we're not allowed in those. And it actually made me laugh because in the first movie, even Hocus Pocus 1, you can see how they cannot enter the cemetery because that's considered a sacred place. But for who? For the church. And they cannot go into a church either. So there's two different kinds of sacred places. The church is making the cemeteries and the churches and basically anything that has like holy water, they making that sacred places. But witches have their sacred places too. And it is actually portrayed in the movie too, when Becca is like, I don't know why, but I feel drawn to the forest. And that's where the Sanderson sisters find the witch that gave them the grimoire in the first place. Because it is a secret place, it is a secret part. This actually happens for a lot of reasons. Usually where there's nature, there is immediately a more energetic charged place. But there is something also called ley lines that are literally lines on the earth that draw more energy. So it is something magical happening because usually one comes from the other, they attract each other. The energy, the nature, and the ley line. If you want to look up more about the subject, I'll leave the link right down. But yeah, the ley lines are just these magical lines. They are invisible, but they do exist, and you are going to feel drawn to it. I'm actually pretty sure that at some point in your life, you've had been in a sacred place for yourself, a place where you just feel like this excitement, these chills, where you can actually channel your energy and do more powerful magic. So that they got super right. Then we got, the crystals. When they are in the classroom and then Becca is like, I know this professor is just gonna give us a pop quiz, and she just takes out her turquoise and puts it on the table. That is super correct. Turquoise is actually a stone for communication. It is a blue stone and it works with the throat chakra that is also connected to the color blue. As a rule of thumb, any crystal that is blue is going to be helping the throat chakra, which helps the communication. And in this case, is to better clarify all of your ideas and put them into. If it's an oral exam, it would have made a little bit more sense, but it's cool though, just the writing part, because it is a part of the communication itself. So it does help as a lucky charm and as a way to connect your mind with your communication, either written or oral. Although I do have a recommendation. If you are going to have an exam and you want to use crystal, I would super recommend amethyst, because amethyst, it connects you to the higher self too. So even if you don't actually know the answers, there's some part of you that is just gonna channel them from other worlds. It's gonna facilitate this communication, and you're gonna be having all of your answers more correct. Next, we do have the birthday ritual that Becca does. This is correct too. It is super real. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but when it is your birthday, you do have a lot of open channels and you have an open, clean slate for manifestation. It is your solar return, so everything realigns. You have different planets on your astrological natal chart. And this makes you have a new opportunity for something new, literally. So it is a great day for manifestation. They were lighting a candle and they were chanting something about something new, something good coming to their lives. So yes, definitely. If it's your birthday soon, or even if it's not, look out for all these birthday rituals, because again, it's a very powerful day for yourself. And this makes me go to 7 candle magic. If you have been in my channel long enough, you have noticed that I love candle magic. I do those rituals for almost every new moon, every full moon, and every time I need something, literally. So in the movie, they do have this black flame candle that is what allows the Sanderson sisters to come to life. And in the second movie, this Hocus Pocus 2, you have Gilbert the Great doing the candle by himself, following instructions of the book, again the Grimoire, and then just having Becca lighting it. Yes, the candle magic works like that. They do let it consume it by itself, and if you notice, the witches only can come back while the flame is lit, and this is something that is happening actually. You do have the candle. I actually have a candle right here from my last video. When you light it, you just let it consume completely, and while it is consumed, while it is consuming, the magic is working. So this is a very visual part that they do in the movie. They make the sisters come back to life just while the candle is there. And it has the same duration, the same length until the sunrise. So that's the other thing too. But in general, the magic is working while your candle is lit. So if you just turn it off, then it's going to stop working actively. And there's other thing that I just really wanted to say, because it was like, no! One thing that they got super wrong is that they were trying to blow the candle to light it off. And that is something that you really do not want to do, especially if you're working intentionally with magic. In this case, Becca thought that the candle was for her birthday ritual. But if you blow into it, especially as they were so panicked, then if she lights the candle again, I mean, in that case, in the movie, the candle was to bring the sisters back, and it has its own magic, and it can't be turned off. But in real life, if you blow the candle while feeling this scare, fear, and desperation, that is what you're putting into the candle again, unwillingly, of course. But then if she were to light it again, then the intention for that candle wouldn't be something as nice as the manifestation, as bringing her, I don't know, new hopes, new courage, new self-esteem. It would be actually just giving her this fear, this desperation, all of these things that she just blew into the candle. So here's the witchy tip: don't ever blow a candle. Turn it off by with your hand, by licking your fingers and putting it off. If you have these candles that are within a crystal jar, then put something on top and let it just smother the flame, but never ever ever blow the candle. Then we have number 8, the chanting of these spells. I love how in the movie the Sanderson sisters are like, ugh, don't you hate when you have to repeat it 7 times? But it's actually super good to do. Even if you just say your spell out loud once, that is a great practice, because in general, when I help people, I mean, this is something that I've learned in my life, that just the energies and the angels, dragons, higher selves, ascended masters, however you want to call them, they love to hear our voice, and especially they love for us to communicate with them like out loud. If you do it in your mind, it's okay too, they're listening, but they really, really love when we talk out loud. So that is something that I got correct. And about the repetitions, that is totally correct too. Depending on the spell, it goes stronger, and you repeat it from 3, 7 to even 49 times. So the next time you're doing a spell, keep that in mind. Whatever your intention is, say it out loud. I promise it's gonna be super, super stronger. Then we go to number 9, salt. They use salt as a protection circle. And again, in the movie, in Hocus Pocus, it is portrayed as super visually. Whenever Winifred just casts a spell, it bounces or goes back to her, just because it is on the spells on the salt circle. Sorry. And this is actually something that I got right, but it's going to the extreme. The fact that it can't even get out, I wish salt had a power. But it is something great for purification, it is something great for protection. I do have here Himalayan salt. I'm gonna show it to you. And I do have it also in my windows and in my doors. Even if, well, this is a very big chunk, you can also use like the fine salt and just put a little bit of it in the window frames, in the window sills, in the doors, so you can protect yourself, you can keep your house protected. I also use it as a purification ritual whenever I go to take a shower and I want to feel more protected. And try this for yourself. It is very healthy to do. Go to take your shower or a bath, that would be great too. And as the water comes to you, visualize how everything is cleansing, even mind, spirit, soul, your aura, everything that doesn't belong just goes away. And then after that, I do have like my own witchy scrub that is made out of, among other things, essential oils, coconut oil, Himalayan salt, Epsom salts, and I just scrub it in myself to exfoliate and help everything that doesn't belong go away, help purify myself. There is something else too. I do recommend using Himalayan salt or black salt instead of just the table salt that everyone knows, the white one, because they do have more healing and more protection properties. So if you're going to use the salt for protection, don't go for the salt table. That is something that I guess it works, but it's gonna be so much powerful if you have the Himalayan or the black salt. And finally, number 10, we have the moon spells, which, yeah, they got kind of right, but it could be a misconception too, because the way that Hocus Pocus is portraying it with the Sanderson sisters is that they can only come back on a full moon, and I feel like that could lead people to believe that spells could only be done in a full moon, which is not right. It depends on the kind of a spell that you want to do, the moon phase that you're doing it on. So for example, the full moon, yes, it helps the Sanderson sisters because there's literally a ton of light in the sky. So they come from the invisible to the visible. They came from whatever realm they were into the physical human world. So yeah, the full moon can help for these kind of spells, for shining light or something. Actually, the full moons are great for spells, for finding something that is hidden, for you to have an illumination and just come out with something that is hidden, with some secret that you wanna understand. It's also great for you to glow, literally to shine into the world. So if these are your purposes, the full moon is the one to go to. But then you also have the things that can be done in a new moon. This new moon has no light, but it is a start. So it's a start of something new. So whenever you want to start something, you do the manifestation spell in a new moon, because it goes from zero light to a lot of light. So it's literally growing and expanding. And again, the other way around, if you want to get rid of something, let's say you want to get rid of fears, you want to get rid of pain, you want to get rid of a relationship, then you do this kind of spells on a waning moon, because it comes from a lot and it decreases. So the energy of the skies, the energy of the moon is helping you to get rid of all of these things. And again, vice versa, if you want to fill yourself up with something, let's say you want self-esteem, which, by the way, I have a self-esteem spell right here. If you want to gain self-esteem, you want to gain courage, if you want to gain, some new skill, then you do this on a waxing moon, because it comes from zero light to the full moon, to the full enlightenment. And this is something that is actually very exciting and that I am doing in my new membership, the Iris Moon Coven. Yes, we're harnessing the power of everyone, and we're using the spells, the moon phases, according to what spell we want to do. So if you want to join, if you're interested, all of the details are right down. Just check them out, and I will be so much happy to have you there, to have more kindred spirits just sharing and doing these live rituals where we can share doubts, we can share our manifestations, we can share literally everything. So this is Hocus Pocus 2. If you have anything else that you saw on the movie that you want me to comment on, or if that you want to understand if they go right, they go wrong, what you can do, what you can't do, please write it on the comments. I read them all, I answer them all. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did, because I was watching the movie and I literally was like, I need to make a video about all of this. It makes me so excited to have it. Thank you so much for your thumbs up, for subscribing, to helping me reach this content to more people that want to know about this. And thank you. Have a wonderful day.